Hey guys, it's Cobalt here, and welcome back to another customizing video. Today I am making my very first Jumbo LPS custom, and I'm super excited to show you guys how I created this one. So as you could see, there was a little bit of a look at the behind the scenes before I started painting. This custom does indeed have some sculpted parts. I sculpted the horns, the spike collar, the devil tip on the tail, and then the wings I didn't actually sculpt. Those were taken from a toy dragon that I had, and I removed the wings and I glued them onto the base and then reinforced that with some more clay. And since I'm working with such a much larger surface area than what I'm usually used to with a normal littlest pet shop, I opted to use epoxy sculpt clay just because I can mix that in much bigger batches and use it in larger pieces while still being able to make it really smooth, as opposed to something like Kneadatite, which works much better with small little pieces. Now, you probably noticed when you clicked on this video, there is a completely different custom in the thumbnail, and that is because I actually created two customs that are essentially identical, just their colors are mirrored. So the one that I actually chose to record is black with pink details, and then the other one is pink with black details. And both of these customs were commissioned. This isn't something that I would usually do for an order, but the commissioner offered to purchase the base figures for me, which was great because authentic LPS are hard enough to find, but when you need something that is not only a jumbo size and also a short hair cat, that's gonna start getting a little bit expensive. Now, a lot of people online have started selling and 3D printing their own bases to make jumbo customs, which is super awesome, and I actually have a video with a 3D printed base in the works soon, but for now, I thought that it would be best to show you guys the first Jumbo LPS customs that I ever created, which are these guys. While these are commissioned, they were actually both designed by me as well, which is pretty fun. Basically, the commissioner wanted something that was goth, but also cutesy, and also sort of inspired by a commission that I had made for them in the past on a normal base figure, along with a couple mood boards and written descriptions here and there. So obviously, pink and black were the colors that I wanted to use the most here in the design, and I feel like designing these guys came pretty naturally as well. One of the main things that the commissioner wanted me to include in the design was a skeleton marking on the base. So that's the main marking that both customs have on their bodies. It's sort of like a rib cage design, and then some of the bones on the arms and the legs, as well as a couple that go down the spine and onto the tail. And then the spike collar, tip of the tail, horns, and inner wing pieces all match the color that I used for the same detail in the bones. The faces do have a few extra colors here and there, like adding some white and then some darker pinks, which I think is a lot of fun. Now, I did also want to talk a little bit more in depth about why I decided to use the actual toy dragon wings instead of sculpting them myself, because on a normal size commission I usually would choose to sculpt them by myself, although recently I have been doing quite a few customs that have parts from like other toys that are kind of glued on and mashed into a new thing. But since these guys were so big, I knew that there was no way in hell that I could confidently and like accurately sculpt nice looking dragon wings for these customs, and you know, I wanted them to look good and I wanted them to look realistic, so the fact that I was able to use these helped me out a lot. They're also very well proportioned to the actual figure, and in general just look a million times better than anything that I would have ended up sculpting. So I am very happy with my decision to go with that. Of course, I have also been talking about the pink custom that I made to go with this black one. Both of them will be shown at the end of the video in the reveal, so definitely comment down below which one you prefer. I decided to record my process painting only the black one because I figured that one would just be generally easier to paint, which is usually true because black is a color that really only needs 1 or 2 layers, and it's super easy to like carve out details around that and whatnot. But honestly, when I was painting them, the pink one ended up being a little bit easier for me, and I'm not entirely sure why. Unfortunately, Unfortunately though, I didn't record my painting process for that one, but that could also be part of it. You know, recording something just generally makes it a lot more difficult. I'm still working on trying to figure out how I want to record my time-lapse videos, but I'm getting there. When I got down to painting the eyes, the commissioner also kind of wanted me to do something that would resemble glass eyes or resin eyes. I don't use resin on my LPS customs. That's actually not something that I've tried yet. It is something that I would like to branch out to in the future, just not for commissions right now, but I feel like I definitely can emulate that look. So I ended up using some glittery paint and some actual glitter to give it that like really glossy iridescent look, and then just a lot of gloss glaze in the end to actually make the eyes look shiny. And I think they look pretty cool, although obviously I would love to actually paint the LPS eyes in the future. These are kind of just one color and like an ethereal look rather than an actual eye with personality, if that makes sense. But needless to say, that part of it was still fun to paint. I will admit though, I made this custom last year, so I've been sitting on this footage for a long time. But you guys requested that you wanted to see it. I am super excited to finally show you guys these customs, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's any specific customs you would like to see from me in the future, comment down below, give me some inspiration. I am all ears. And if you would like to commission me for your very own Littlest Pet Shop custom, you can also find a link down below in the description to my Etsy shop where I take commission orders, or you can find some pre-made ones up on my eBay, also linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy the reveal.